humans, we're constantly changing and we're being affected by our environment. And sometimes what was good for us 2 years ago might not be what's good for us now, and that's okay. Actualization is the highest level of psychological development and the complete realization of one's full potential.
In this podcast, we talk about productivity, health, and mindset to help you reach your full potential and actually actualize.
I'm Paige.
I'm Sydney.
Let's get to it.
How are you? I'm doing so good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm so excited because I have something for you.
What?
And you didn't even know.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday.
Cute.
Open it.
This is a really cute bag. Oh my gosh. Alani knew. She knows I love these.
And the packaging, guys, so cute.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you're going to have to tune into the YouTube so that you can see how cute the packaging is.
Yeah, she got me some Alani New energy drinks. And honestly, I've been using Alani New pre-workout. And it's the mimosa flavor. It's like the best thing ever. So,
I'm glad you like it.
And, oh my gosh.
So, wait, though. This is not my skill set. I'm going to order us some that are made. I did this morning with my Cricut. It says actually actualized on the coffee cup.
Oh my
I have
goodness.
one too.
That is so cool.
I have one too. This is not my skill set making this. This is crooked. It's too big. Look at me I don't
care. I'm excited about it. This is so cool.
Do you see what it says?
Yes, let the adventure begin. Oh my
This is our
gosh.
adventure.
That is so cool. I love that. We gotta pour a coffee mug.
I know. Okay, wait. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Let's.
Paige. What?
So it's used, but it's not a cracked one. So Sydney broke her Apple Watch. And
Well, I broke my Apple Watch.
You lost.
And then I got a new one, and then I lost it.
Yes.
/ it was stolen. So I was using my cracked one.
Yes. Okay, now we can pour our coffee. Let's see if we spill. Ready?
Oh, God.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I spilled. We're going to take a quick break because...
Yeah, we're going to clean up.
So today we are going to be talking about leaving a toxic job. And hopefully by the end of this podcast, you will leave with some questions to ask yourself and a couple action steps. So when we were getting ready to do this podcast, we wanted to get some information from the greats. So, yes. So Tony Robbins actually quoted this study that was done out of Massachusetts, and they found that the number one risk factor for someone dying of a heart attack, their first heart attack before the age of 50, it wasn't diabetes, it wasn't genetics, it wasn't their cholesterol levels, it was job dissatisfaction was the reason for people dying of heart attacks before the age of 50 years old. Job dissatisfaction.
When you just played that for me, I was like, what? Why are we not hearing about this?
And why are so many people in jobs that they hate?
It's so
It's
sad.
killing them.
It's literally killing them. So that's why we feel like this episode is really important, because we're saving lives.
We're saving lives out here. We're saving lives out here.
Okay, that sounds a little... Like, it is a serious issue, and I know, like, we've both experienced it. We have people in our lives that have experienced it, or maybe are even currently experiencing it, and life's too short to be in a job that you hate.
You already know how I feel about time. I talk about time all the time. And I agree. Life is so short. You don't have that much time on this earth. You really don't. It's like it's a blip. We're nothing. We are nothing. We are here and gone in an instant. And we need to be spending our time doing things that fill our cup, bring us joy, that aren't causing us to die of heart attacks before the age of 50. So
I was doing some reading with Mel Robbins, who's not related to Tony Robbins.
that was the whole thing. We were Marco Poloing the other day, and I was like, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins.
We both knew their spouses' names,
yes,
but not that. So we're like,
although
it's interesting that they're both like motivational speakers.
I thought Tony's wife's name was Paige. His wife's name is Sage, and I was sad about it.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt like
this whole time you were thinking that like
his
your wife and his wife had this connection with your names. I mean, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
But anyway, I've been reading this book by Mel Robbins called Stop Saying You're Fine. Because with a title like that, I was like, I gotta see what this girl has to
need
say.
that.
And it was all about, just like you standing in your own way of letting yourself stay stuck in something that you're not finding joy in. And she does a lot of stuff with like the brain research. It's science. Like, it's not your fault, like it's not like it's just you that you have this problem. Like, your brain is designed to keep you safe. And so it doesn't like for you to get out of the norm.
Yes.
It doesn't like for you to make any risky decisions. However, your brain's not really maybe aware that you staying in a dissatisfying job is actually risking your life in the long term. But, because your brain's all about like short term, like surviving right now. And so you are going to come up with a lot of excuses. Your brain's going to come up with those excuses for why you should stay in it, right? Whether that, I have to have income, obviously.
Right.
I have a family to support.
What else am I going to do?
What else am I going to do? Like, I don't even know what job I would be able to get, like just all of these excuses that you're going to come up with because your brain, feels safe right now and it doesn't want you to do anything that's going to compromise that. However, that's no way to live.
It's not. And then the other category that we do is what was it? We're jerks.
Yeah, she was saying that your excuses can be categorized
there we go.
into two sections. Like, you're either being a chicken about it or you're being a jerk. And so if you're being a chicken about it, then that means like you're scared. You're too scared. Like, what if I fail? What if I can't find another job? What if, I make less money? What if I can't support my family? What if I get kicked out of my house? All of like those worst case scenario things popping up in your head. That's you being a chicken. Like, and just admitting that it's hard, but it's like, I am.
I'm
being
scared.
A chicken. I'm scared, and that's okay to feel that way. But like, admit that that's what's going on.
Yes.
And then being a jerk,
which I call it also like being stubborn, being
or just
stuck,
closed-minded.
Yeah.
Just being like, well, I have to stay in this job because this is what my parents want me to do, or this is what my spouse has to. Do their thing, so I have to do this for them.
Or I went to school for this, and
Yeah.
I have all these student loans and this, and
and so
this is what I'm going to do. I have to do it. What else can I do?
Right. So I feel like kind of identifying or categorizing those excuses, because we all have them.
Oh, yes.
And
sometimes it's a mixture.
Yeah, it can totally be a combination. But then I feel like identifying that is the first part, and then you can kind of figure out how to push through them.
Well, now that we kind of know a little bit, just a primer on what our brain is doing when we're going back and forth, like, should I quit my job? Am I happy? Let's talk about our experiences, because we both experienced this. We have both been in extremely toxic situations in our workplace, and then we left and found better alternatives. So let's talk about that.
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Get my coffee.
Yeah, get ready for this one, guys.
No, I'm not spilling the tea. But I was in a very toxic work situation not too long ago. And it was a new position. I thought it was going to be everything I ever wanted. It was a leadership position. I was going to be able to call the shots, get my ideas out there, really feel like I'm making a difference. But that was not what it was. And it was probably the most stressed and chaotic work environment I've ever been in. So I'm in this job and I know it's not good. Like if something doesn't feel right. I was dreading going in. When I was there, I was just on edge driving home. I just was always so anxious, so pent up. And so I knew something was wrong. I knew it was not the job for me, but I was very much in that. I was actually two. I was chicken. It started with being chicken. I was like, well, I got to make money. I can't, this is my job. What else am I going to do? I can't quit my job. What am I going to do? But then it also came with some jerkiness, which I like to call it stubborn, because I've been going to school for educational leadership for, 10 years. Elementary education, then I got my master's in, administration so I could be a principal, and then I'm finishing up my doctorate. I'm currently getting my doctorate for educational leadership, and I'm like, I can't quit. So it was really hard to accept the fact that maybe being a principal isn't really what I want. Maybe I was really reaching towards wanting to have purpose and wanting to affect change. And I wanted to so much to show everyone that I can be successful. I can be a leader. And I think I got so caught up, and it was more what other people, I was trying to satisfy this picture that I created for myself and what other people thought of me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I know, I remember you telling me how excited you were about this position. You had talked it up so much. Mm-hmm. And then I really didn't hear from you much after that. And life happens. I figured you were just busy, but I feel like part of it was you probably didn't want to say anything.
Embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. It's embarrassing to think that you're getting one thing and it doesn't work out, and you've hyped it up and you're so excited. It is. And I'm being totally transparent and with you guys. It was embarrassing because I really thought it was the job. I really thought that was it. And it just
wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
No, it came with so much stress. I did have a lot of agency, and I was able to create a cool program and do some cool things, but it came with so much stress. It affected my relationships. It was affecting, my home life, how I was treating my kids when I came home, how I was treating my husband because I was so stressed out. And I guess I'm sharing this because I want you to know, anyone listening, it is okay to make a change. It is okay to decide that what you said you were going to do, it might not be what you want anymore, and that's okay.
Right. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in it just because you told people this is what you were going to do. Or even if you told yourself that that's what you were going to do. It's not worth being unhappy.
No.
It's not worth dying from a heart attack.
Whew, it sure is not worth that. It sure isn't.
Right. And really the people that love you just want you to be happy.
Right.
So they're going to probably support you in whatever.
Yes. Yes. So if I could help just one person just step out of that feeling of shame or feeling embarrassed or like you failed, don't feel like that, because humans, we're constantly changing and we're being affected by our environment. And sometimes what was good for us 2 years ago might not be what's good for us now, and that's okay.
And I think it's also, it was probably pretty scary quitting and then not really knowing for sure, what was going to happen after. I know you had some things lined up, but, you weren't really sure what it was going to look like, how you were going to do it, but you were determined you were going to figure out something.
That's it. I put all my energy towards it. I had a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So what about you? Let's talk about your experience.
So mine's a little different, but mine was just going from one teaching job to a different teaching job. I think what made it so difficult was when I took that job, right out of college. I mean, I had really researched and
I remember
picked that school out, like, because I am just a really loyal person, and I just wanted to like be in one place forever. And I was like, I better pick out a good one. And 4 years in, I was miserable, but I just felt like I had to stay there because I had made this commitment to myself, really, of like, you're not going to be a school hopper. You're not going to, you're going to find a place that you can do a lot of good work there. And I felt like I did have a great purpose, but it was so draining. And systems weren't in place to really maximize the amount of effort and energy we were putting into it,
Oh, yes.
But it really, for me, what was also hard was like, I didn't know that everybody else's job wasn't like this. Like, I thought that this is my first like real adult job out of college, so I just thought that this is how everybody's jobs were. Anything you think about it, you're in your early 20s, everybody's grinding, everybody's like maybe not in the spot in their career that they're gonna end up in one day, so everyone's kind of complaining and just getting through it. Like, I just thought that's the way that it was supposed to be. Like, yeah, this is just what it's like to be in the workforce. And so I didn't know that there was any alternative until some people pointed out to me.
I remember that conversation. I remember you coming to my house. You sat on that chair and you told me you were thinking of quitting, like, teaching. Like, you didn't want to be a teacher anymore. Remember?
Yeah, and Paige was appalled.
I was.
Honestly, I felt like such a failure. Like, I felt like I'm like, well, maybe I'm just not good at this. Like, if I can't be successful here, then maybe I'm not, the kind of teacher that I thought I was. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I need to do something else. But then, of course, my entire identity was wrapped into being a teacher. And I mean, like you said, like, went to school for this. Like, I've poured everything into becoming this person. Who am I if I'm not this?
That's such a scary question.
It was scary.
It was so scary.
But I was just like, I mean, I don't know what else to do. And Paige was like, how about we try another school? She's like, you're an amazing teacher. Paige and I student taught together. Yes. So, like, we actually, know our abilities.
She's amazing.
And she was like, you're an amazing teacher and you're so passionate. You're just going to give up after one bad experience? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, there's a lot of schools out there.
A lot.
She's like, why don't we just try another one? And then if it's still not working, then we can reevaluate. And I'm like, I guess that sounds pretty smart. I'm like, I guess I should probably give it another try before just throwing in the towel.
And you did that, and what happened?
And now I'm in a job that I love. And it's like, you really just don't know. I feel like that people say, like, the grass is always greener, but, like, for me, I didn't know that there was other grass. Like, I didn't know. I thought that was it, Because, I mean, I feel like especially teachers, a lot of teachers complain. A lot of teachers are always like, well, it's... And a lot of teachers I'd worked with had worked at other schools and had... bad experiences there too. So I just really didn't think it was going to be any different. Like, oh, maybe just some different problems, but still the same situation. And I just didn't feel like it was worth it to jump ship just to go to another crappy ship, But that's not what happened. I found a great district. Again, like, just started doing some research and trying to figure out where I wanted to go, and reached out to some different people to kind of get some feedback and
use that network.
And I love where I'm at now. So It is, I mean, you don't have to do something as drastic as Paige, but I mean, it can feel drastic.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what type of change, whether it's just, okay, I'm a teacher here and now I'm going to be a teacher there, that can feel just as drastic as you completely quitting everything and working for yourself. So it's scary either way. So what are some questions people can start asking themselves to figure out if they're in a job that is not satisfying them or if they need to make some type of change?
Okay, we have 3 questions and 2 action steps for you. Of course we do, right? So the first question that you need to ask is, how many bad days are you really having? Keep track of that.
Right. Because there's a difference between like being miserable in a job and like having one bad day.
Right.
You know, like everyone's going to have bad days sometimes, but keeping track of like how often is that happening and what moments in your job like are bringing you joy. Like, are there moments that you do like? Because I mean, I feel like with most jobs, there's probably going to be some parts that you just never liked, but you just have to do.
Right.
But are the good moments outweighing the bad moments?
And what is the thing that's causing you stress, the thing that's making you unhappy about your job? Really try to dissect that. Figure out, why is it making you unhappy? If it's, the hours, or if it's the workload, or if it's there's not a work-life balance. Like, really try to identify specifically what's making you unhappy. Right. Not just, yes, I was unhappy 5 days of the week. I want to know exactly what it was that was making you unhappy.
Right. And like, how is it affecting other parts of your life?
Yes.
Like, are you feeling like you have to come home every day and have a drink because, I just need something to unwind from the day? I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a drink every now and then, but if you're feeling like you have to because your job is so stressful and that's what you need, like, that's maybe a red flag.
Yeah.
Is it affecting your family, your relationships, your sleep, your, like, all of those things?
Yes.
Your health overall.
Yeah. So the second thing that you want to ask yourself is this job feeding my soul? Is it aligning with my purpose? Because
if your job is not giving you, fulfilling that, like, that you have a purpose, then you're going to be one of those statistics. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but
you're going to have job dissatisfaction. You're going to have more stress in your life. It's going to be harder to have good relationships and do things that make you happy because you're just going to be on this negative train in this toxic environment because you're not doing a job that is feeding your soul. And when I say that, is it feeding my soul? Everyone has things that they need to keep them happy. Everyone, and it's different for everyone. Maybe for me, feeding my soul is, being able to be around my kids, being able to have time to do creative endeavors. For someone else, maybe feeding their soul would be they're able to be active and talking to people all day, and that's what they need. Figure out what feeds your soul, and then decide if your job is doing that. And then the third thing that you want to do is ask yourself, what are the things outside of my job that feeds my soul, that makes me happy? Because then you can decide or start to think about what types of jobs has that in it. And then you can start to shift and open your mind and start with the next action steps that we have, which is 1, take action, which is maybe you're not ready to quit your job and do something else, but you can start looking. Yeah. You can start getting things in place. You can start making a really good resume, a really good cover letter. You can get all those little pieces in place. That's what I did. Because when I found out that I just wasn't happy, like I knew I wasn't happy and I knew I had to make a change, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do yet. I had a lot of different options, but I was like, I just need to put energy towards this. So let me just start looking. Let me get all of my stuff together. And then slowly, it just piece by piece, opportunities started to come. Things just started coming together because I was putting my energy towards it.
And once you start, like, even with the tiniest action, just like searching what jobs are available, and like for me, what other teaching jobs are available. Started researching different districts around, and it was very non-committal. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was talking about it to anyone at my job, but I was just like, let me just look. And then as soon as you take that first step, then you're going to take the next step. And like kind of the ball has started rolling.
Right.
And so then like you said, the more energy you put toward it, the more you're going to see, the more like opportunities you might see that you would have missed otherwise.
Right. For me, when I was doing those exercises of kind of figuring out what I wanted to do, asking myself those questions, what's bringing me joy? What about my job isn't? The thing that was bringing me joy was writing, being around my family, having time to do the things that I want to do, being able to do creative things, modeling, acting gigs, having a flexible schedule. That what was bringing me joy. So then I was able to start looking at opportunities, things that could align with what I wanted my outcome to be. And so when I started to do that, I found Upwork. I found, that I can make money as a freelancer, and I found all these different ways, and I slowly started piecing that together.
Like, I started really trying to research once I kind of decided, like, yep, I need to leave. I started looking at, okay, well, what am I going to be looking for in my next school that I wasn't getting out of this school? Like, what are the parts of my job that I really love that I want to do more of? And how, like, what will I need to be looking for in a building? So then when they were interviewing me, I was also interviewing them.
Yes.
Like, and I was also talking to people that knew things about the school, that worked at the school, that, but that would give me some honest feedback, because I'm like, I don't want to get myself in this situation again. I feel like once you kind of start putting energy toward that and thinking about what are the things that bring you joy and how can you find a job that's going to help you align those things.
Yes. And then the last thing that you need to do, the second action step, is talk to someone about it. Putting it out there, being honest with yourself and being honest with other people. And it's kind of funny because for me, besides my husband, obviously my husband knew that I was unhappy with my job. The first person that I really told that, like, I can't do this anymore was the attendant at my gym. I love that woman. Her name's Lynn, and she's awesome. If she ever listens, I hope she knows how big of an impact she had on me. It was just because I see her every morning, and I would go in to work out, and then I would have to get ready to go to my job after working out, and I hated it. I did not want to go to work. And one day I was just like, I'm just really unhappy with my job. I really want to do something else. I don't think I want to be a principal. And that I had never said that to anyone before, just the lady at the gym. But after I did that, after I spoke that, it was like admitting to myself and accepting it and being okay with it within myself. And it just made everything else come so much easier. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's really important that you speak it, you talk about it with someone, because that's what makes it real too. Yeah. Besides getting feedback and besides getting other people's advice, because that's important too. But like talking about it and really verbalizing what's going on makes it real. And I think that's what's going to really start moving you towards making a change.
Right. And I think also talking to people about what you're going through in your job and really letting them help you decide if this is something that this is a toxic workplace, or is this something that, you just need to work through this season or whatever. Because a lot of times, like, you can get inside your own head and be thinking that, whatever, like what I was thinking, like, this is just how it is. Like, there's everybody's job sucks. Like, this is just the way it goes. But then, like, for me, it was like Patrick that, I was just
her fiance
all the time. And he was like, maybe you need to get a new job. And at first it really like irritated me. And I'm like, you just don't understand. You don't understand what it's like to be a teacher. Like, just don't say. And I thought it was like really insensitive. And he was like, no, like this is not how it has to be, Sydnee. Like, your job shouldn't be making you this unhappy on this much of a consistent basis. Like, you're negative all the time. You it's affecting your relationships, your mood. You're not happy. And honestly, it's hard to be around you.
Isn't that hard
to hear? And that was so hard to hear.
That's hard to hear.
I mean, we got in a whole like fight about it, but after I had some time to think about it, I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, this is affecting me. And so that is, I mean, but if he hadn't have brought that up to me, like, what if he would have just like broke up with me, or what if he would have just, like kept listening to it for so long, and then eventually, like, but having people in your life that can help you point that out and help,
because you're blind by it. Like, you'll be blind by it. You don't know.
Yeah, when you're in it, and so, whether it's your partner or a friend, like, talking to them about it and knowing, like, having the people in your life that are going to be like, you know what, maybe this is something that and being receptive to hearing that.
Yes, that's hard. It's so hard.
It's hard because you're like, I'm just trying to vent.
Right.
But no, you're venting every day.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that's really affecting you. So I think just being able to talk to people about it and not stay in your own head about it, but talk to people, and people that are really going to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. Not just be like, yeah, that sucks. Like, I mean, sometimes, again, you're going to have some bad days, but like, when it's them noticing, like, it's consistently all you ever do is just complain about work.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew it. Same thing. It was affecting. My husband was like, Paige, you can't do this. Like, it's not fair to the family for you to be on edge, irritated because of your job. That's not our fault. And it's so hard to hear that. Like, people don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Because I had the same conversation. Right. And it's true. I was being a bitch.
Right.
Because I was so stressed. I was around so many negative people, so much toxic, just mess, and it was bleeding into my life.
We're out of that space. I feel like we recognize it, and other people, we're like,
yes, yes,
and we're like, I'm like, I really can't be around this negative energy.
It's like,
but I'm like, that you probably used to be me,
100%.
And so, I mean, it's not like you need to go around telling everybody, well, you just need to quit your job. But it's like, listening to a certain point, and if you are close enough with them, just saying, like, you know what, maybe I'm noticing this is really taking a toll on you, and maybe you need to look into finding something else. And that can be really hard to bring up to someone, because they're probably not going to be super receptive to it at first, because again, their brain is making those excuses for them. They're saying, well, I have to, how am I going to get income? How am I going to pay my bills? Well, I went to school for this, so I have to stay in it. They already have all those running in their head, but say it to them, because they might start thinking about it.
Yes.
And then that might get things going for them. So
there is no reason to strive without joy. Tony Robbins talks about that. You don't need to be in this grind just to be in the grind and work hard and do a job you hate. No.
Right.
No.
Which, I mean, there's seasons for everything.
Yes, there is.
If you are just not seeing that this is not just temporary, like,
there's no end in sight.
Out, like, okay, I'm just in school. When I finish school, I'm going to do this.
Right.
That's different. But when you're just like, well, this is just the way
this
it is.
This is my life.
It's just, that grind.
No, it's not your life.
Not
it does not have to be your life. You can make a change. You really can, no matter what place you are in. There are other options, and you can do it. You really can. Follow our 3 questions and 2 action steps. It's going to help you get started in that process.
Yeah. And the more you start looking, the more opportunities you're probably going
I'm telling you,
to find.
there is an abundance of opportunities out there. It's so exciting to me. I get so excited when I think about all the things you can do, all the things you could know, all the things you can teach yourself. You can literally learn anything on YouTube, on anywhere. It's just, there's so many opportunities. Don't spend your time doing something that's not filling your cup and bringing you joy.
Right, because it's literally killing you.
It's killing you, folks.
And that's not worth it.
No, it's not.
There's no job worth that.
You are worth more.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time.
See you later.
Bye.